another thing here, TikTok, they can't dictate the algorithm the way they can on places like Facebook and Twitter. And they didn't like the fact that a lot of young people were using TikTok to spread anti-war messages. They didn't like that. They even made it clear that they didn't like that. So that's what the whole TikTok ban is really about.
Hey, it's Jordan. I am in Flint, Michigan, East Palestine, Ohio, Tumwa, Iowa. Please support the only independent outlet on the ground covering what the corporate media covers up.
What's up, everybody? Ron Placone here, reporting for Status Coup. So we always talk about reining in big tech. That's a issue that people bring up in various capacities. And a lot of times in recent years, people have talked about the Democrats' relationship to big tech, which is a very, very valid criticism. Joe Biden started his campaign with a bunch of Comcast executives. So totally valid criticism. Is Donald Trump going to be any better? Are the Republicans going to be any better? Well, let's take a look at some things. Mark Zuckerberg, Musk, Bezos, they'll all have ringside seats for Trump's inauguration. This is from ABC News. Top tech executives Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and Jeff Bezos are scheduled to join President-elect Donald Trump's grand comeback to the White House on Monday, sources told ABC News. Musk, Zuckerberg, and Bezos, say that 3 times fast. Musk, Zuckerberg, and Bezos are expected to have a front row seats on the platform alongside Trump's cabinet picks and other elected officials. Sources familiar with the planning of the inauguration said Musk has been spending a considerable amount of time with Trump. And it looks like Bezos and Zuckerberg have also made trips down to Mar-a-Lago. And by the way, let's talk about Zuckerberg in particular here. So keep in mind, Zuckerberg is changing Facebook now, and he's changing it in a way to appease the incoming administration when he was more concerned with the last administration when they were in power. So Meta is ending its fact-checking, replacing it with a community-driven system akin to Elon Musk's X. So Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg is changing the social media company. It's ending the fact-checking program, replacing it with a community-driven system similar to that of Elon Musk. Here's what Mark Zuckerberg had to say about it. We're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes similar to X. So, by the way, just for the record, I personally didn't like Facebook's current system either. What Facebook used to do was they had this fact-checking moderation system. And what their algorithm does is it just feeds you content based on what you like. So they were appeasing to the DNC and entities like that by having the fact checking. Some people said, oh, that means Facebook has a, quote, left bias. That is not true. Facebook does not have a left bias. Hold on, I have to grab my cat. Sorry, guys, Lucy called. Facebook does not have a left bias. What Facebook does is it feeds you news based on what you like, and it keeps feeding you that so you don't leave Facebook. So if you click a bunch of right-wing stuff, it keeps feeding you a bunch of right-wing stuff. If you click on more left-wing stuff, it feeds you more left-wing stuff. Statistically, Facebook feeds more conservative news than non-conservative news. Why is that? Well, because generally, Facebook is an older demographic, which tends to, again, generally lean more conservative. So that's why that happens. Now, here's the kicker. The right-wing, left-wing paradox here is within the confines of what the moderators find acceptable. So it's conservative news that the moderators were okay with. It's, quote, left news that the moderators were okay with. And if you look at a lot of the stuff Facebook censors, you're going to see a lot of anti-war stuff, a lot of anti-imperial stuff, a lot of resources for LGBTQ youth, things like that get censored. I would say probably a lot more than QAnon and that sort of stuff. So that's what Facebook was doing prior. Now they're just going the Twitter route, Elon Musk's Twitter route, and just having it be community notes and that kind of program. So it seems like Mark Zuckerberg, whoever's in the White House, that's whose ass he will kiss, basically, because he was all fine with the DNC when Biden was in power. Now he's just kind of doing what Trump wants. So let's move on to some of the numbers here. We're going to look at some of the numbers because Trump has gotten a lot of support And a lot of that support comes from big tech. And we're going to get into the reason why here. So Trump's 500 million post-election windfall. President Trump is being inundated with so much money from corporations and wealthy donors that his team expects to raise about 500 million by summer, even though he can't run again. By stockpiling so much cash, Trump is signaling he doesn't want to be seen as a lame duck in his second term. The donors run the gamut from healthcare to agriculture, insurance. Wonder why they're giving a lot of money to a president right about now. Financial institutions, tech, and cryptocurrency investors. I said crypto. Sheesh. All right. And look at what a Trump advisor noted. If the tech guys are giving big, it makes everyone give. So he's getting a lot of money from big tech. And here's another screenshot of the attendees of his inauguration, or some of the attendees of his inauguration. Check this out. Look at that. Sam Altman, Jeff Bezos. Now, the CEO of TikTok is going to be there. Let's hold this thought. The CEO of TikTok is going to be at Trump's inauguration. Now, as of the recording of this, things are moving forward with the TikTok ban. It is not Sunday yet as of the recording of this, but Sunday, your TikTok might go away. It also might not. Let's kind of dovetail into that for a little bit because it's relevant to what we're talking about. So the TikTok ban, which we covered the TikTok hearing here on Status Coup. We do not have the time to rehash all of it, but here's the cliff notes on what's really going on with the TikTok ban. The TikTok ban had nothing to do with your information being in the hands of the Chinese government. Your information, if you are on TikTok as a U.S. citizen, your information is not in China. Never was. Your information is not in China. TikTok wanted to even go a step further and make designated data centers that would be overseen completely by Americans, even though most of your data is already in America anyway. But our government was having none of it. It was actually that hearing was actually pretty gross. What the TikTok hearing was really about, what that piece of policy is really about, is Mark Warner and other members of Congress and Senate have a lot of money invested in domestic software. So they want to be negative towards apps that come from a different country because it hurts their bottom line in those investments. So they thought TikTok was going to be an easy scapegoat. Also, another thing here, TikTok, they can't dictate the algorithm the way they can on places like Facebook and Twitter. And they didn't like the fact that a lot of young people were using TikTok to spread anti-war messages. They didn't like that. They even made it clear that they didn't like that. So that's what the whole TikTok ban is really about. And it's to the point where they really just want to be able to control the algorithm. Because guess what? Here's somebody they were floating as an idea to buy the thing. Check this out. Who could buy TikTok to avoid apps ban? Newest name being shared, Elon Musk. So they're floating the idea of Elon Musk buying it because they'd rather have some plutocrat who's in the United States than have anything that has anything to do with a foreign government, even though, again, none of your information is in China. Absolutely none of it. The latest candidate to become the potential U.S. face of TikTok, Tesla, is the Tesla and SpaceX CEO, Elon Musk. So they're fine with Elon Musk owning multiple platforms. They're fine with him owning Twitter, which he ruined. And now they're fine with him owning TikTok. As long as he's domestic, that's all they care about. It's all just about money and xenophobic nonsense and controlling the message. That's all it's really about. But here's the deal. A lot of the public didn't like this because millions of people use TikTok. And now they kind of had to backpedal a little bit because they're seeing how unpopular all of it is. Here's a tweet from Chuck Schumer. We don't need to hear him. We can just read it. It's clear that more time is needed to find an American buyer for TikTok. We will continue working to keep TikTok alive, protect content creators' livelihood, protect against CCP surveillance, which again isn't happening, at least not if you're in the United States, and protect national security. I will work with the Trump administration to find a solution. By the way, quick side note, am I saying there's no security concerns with TikTok? No, I am not saying that. there are totally security concerns with TikTok. However, there are no more security concerns with TikTok than there are with Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or anything else. So if you're more concerned about security on TikTok and you have no concerns whatsoever on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc., congratulations, you fell for nationalistic propaganda from the United States. But now they're backpedaling. Now they're realizing that this is not a good look for them. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to pass the buck. They're trying to just kind of get rid of it, make it someone else's problem. The Biden administration will leave it to Trump to implement the TikTok ban. So the Biden administration doesn't plan to take action that forces TikTok to immediately go dark for U.S. users on Sunday. TikTok could still proactively choose to shut itself down that day, a move intended to send a clear message to the 170 million people who use it. But the Biden administration is now signaling it won't enforce the law that goes into effect the day before the president leaves office. So they don't want to deal with this. Now, again, it's not Sunday as of the recording of this. We'll see what happens come Sunday. Now, Trump has signaled that he wants to save TikTok. He wants to have people use TikTok. Biden saying, hey, I'm just passing the buck. The next president can deal with it. Well, who else has something to say here? You guessed it, the Supreme Court. So here's what the Supreme Court had to say. And this is as of today, which when I'm coming at you, it is Friday, January 17th. Supreme Court gives green light to law that could ban TikTok. So the Supreme Court on Friday delivered a blow to TikTok by upholding a law that could lead to the ban. And by the way, this was unanimous. This was 9-0. There were no dissents. Now, just to give a little bit of detail here, the Supreme Court's job in this case was not to say that this law is good or bad or anything like that. Their job was to strictly interpret, would a law like this violate the First Amendment? And they concluded that the way it's written, that law would not violate the First Amendment. So that was the extent. It wasn't like the Supreme Court, their job was to just submit the law. It was more like, well, does this violate the First Amendment? You need to rule on that. And that was the Supreme Court's role in this. However, this is a big gift to Donald Trump. In fact, all of this is a big gift to Donald Trump. And we're going to get into why. There's another component of the TikTok ban. It's not just saying, hey, TikTok needs to sell to an American company or we're not going to permit them in the United States. It also, and we covered this previously on Status Coup. If you want more detail, you can watch some of those older videos. It also gives the president the authority to essentially ban any non-domestic app that they want to. That was in that gave a president unprecedented authority in that arena. It was very Patriot Act-esque. And that was the big concern. That's why when this policy initially came to the surface, a lot of people were saying, hey, even if you don't like TikTok, even if you think TikTok's bad, you should still be against this because it gives a president power that a president should not have. That is not good. And we even said, hey, there's a good chance, you want Biden having power like that? You want Trump having power like that? Trump might be coming back. We said it back then. Well, now Trump's back, and now he has this power. So that's why all of the big tech players are kissing his ass. That's why Mark Zuckerberg is all of a sudden presenting himself as an Elon Musk tech bro, which I guess he kind of always was, but he was maybe not quite as much of a Trump sycophant. But now he's totally presenting himself as that guy. Why? Because they know that Trump's going to have this power. They want to be on. They know that if Trump is keeping any type of foreign app out of there, that's good for business for them. They know that. So this was a gift to Trump in so many ways, and a gift to big tech. Now, here's another thing I want to show you. Speaking of how all this is a gift to Trump. So, by the way, this is when Chuck Schumer's going on saying, oh, we need more time to figure out this problem. There is no problem. You guys made this problem up. You guys scapegoated TikTok because a bunch of people have these investments, and you don't like the fact that young people are spreading anti-war messages. And by the way, it's not just Democrats; it's Democrats and Republican. It was a bipartisan, horrible effort. So there is no problem. They made up the problem, And then they realize, oh, crap, a lot of people are going to be pissed off if we do this. So they try to pass the buck, and it ends up being a huge, huge gift for Donald Trump because now you have big tech kissing his ass. And guess what? Who's going to look like the good guy if TikTok gets saved? Well, guess what? Here, check this out. This is from the CEO.
Hi everyone, it's Show here. As you know, we have been fighting to protect the constitutional right to free speech for the more than 170 million Americans who use our platform every day to connect, create, discover, and achieve their dreams. On behalf of everyone at TikTok and all our users across the country, I want to thank President Trump for his commitment to work with us to find a solution that keeps TikTok available in the United States. This is a strong stand for the First Amendment and against arbitrary censorship. As we've said, TikTok is a place where people can create communities, discover new interests, and express themselves, including over 7 million American businesses who earn a living and gain new customers using our platform. We are grateful and pleased to have the support of a president who truly understands our platform, one who has used TikTok to express his own thoughts and perspectives, connecting with the world and generating more than 60 billion views of his content in the process. To all American users, thank you for making our TikTok community such a rich and vibrant space, for surprising and delighting us every day. Rest assured, we will do everything in our power to ensure our platform thrives as your online home for limitless creativity and discovery, as well as a source of inspiration and joy for years to come. Thank you. More to come.
There's the connection. Why is big tech kiss Trump's ass so freaking much? Well, one, because he's going to be president. That's the big one. And two, because they know he's likely to have this newfound power. And let that sink in. Donald Trump, and by the way, it should concern you with any president, no matter who it is. Should concern you with Biden, should concern you with Trump, should concern you with any, even if you like the president, it should concern you because the president shouldn't be able to do something like that. But basically, any app, non-domestic that they don't like, and they could probably even make the case for domestic too, if it's if it compromises American interest or whatever else, they could just get rid of it. They could just ban it from the country, and that's all moving forward. So we'll see if your TikTok still works over the weekend. I'll be checking by. We'll see what happens, but that's the play of events there. They realized the mess that they started. So Biden just wanted to pass the buck. So he is giving a gift to Trump on so many levels. Trump is getting this power. And if TikTok sticks around, Trump's going to look like the good guy. So very interesting time. But if you're looking for someone to rein in big tech, good luck with that. Good luck with that. Democrats are in bed with big tech and get a bunch of big tech money. And so do Republicans. Bipartisan effort. Yeah. And guys, before we sign out, I just want to say my movie Left It Wall is out on January 24th. It's coming up. I am so freaking excited. And you can pre-order the movie now on Apple TV. You just go to Apple TV, type in Left It Wall, and it pops right up and you can pre-order it. We'll also leave the link below so you can go to the link directly as well. If you're not an Apple TV user, don't worry. On January 24th, it's going to be distributed across a bunch of platforms, including Apple TV, Google Play, Xbox, YouTube Movies. It's going to be available all over the place. I will be sharing all of the locations that you can get Left It Wall as January 24th gets closer. And by the way, you can even buy it on DVD. For those of you who still collect DVDs, the DVD will be available for purchase on January 24th. I'm really excited about that. So please check out Left It Wall. You can follow me online at Ron Placone for all the updates there. And this is Ron Placone for Status Coup signing out.